Welcome to Sopedia. Kindly subscribe, like, and share this video. The tie measurement circumference for this pants is 23 inches divided by 2, that gives 11.5 inch. Then I'm going to add 10 inch just to make this a wide leg pants. So that is 21.5 inches. So I'm going to mark down 21.5 inches from the top of this fabric down to the bottom. I will divide the 10 inches that I added, which is 5 inch, and I'm going to mark down 5 inch from the top to the bottom on this part of the fabric, and I'll do the same thing on this side also. Once I'm done with this first part, I'll move to the side and mark down 5 inches as well. Before I get to the bottom of this dress, I'm going to mark the length of the pants. I'm gonna head to mark out the 5 inch on both sides of this fabric, and what I have here is exactly 11.5 inches, which is the half of the tie measurements. From the upper hip, I'm going to come down by 7 inch for my hip line. I'm going to mark that there. I'll mark on this line as well and connect the points together. Then I'm going to mark down the crotch depth line. For you to get this, divide your hip circumference by 4. After marking, I'm just going to connect these points. Then on this crotch depth line, I'm going to mark the quarter of the hip measurements. I'll mark this here, and I'm going to mark this also on the hip line and mark these same measurements on the upper hip line. Then I will use a straight line to connect this. From this center front, I'm going to measure the upper hip line measurements, and I'll mark that there. I will connect these points to the hip line using a curved line. After that, I'm going to come to the crotch depth line here and draw a curve. For me to do that, I will come up this way by 1 inch, and I'll mark down the 1 inch and draw a curve, ensuring that the curve that I'm drawing touches the tip of this 1 inch. I'll go to the upper hip region, and I'm going to divide these parts into 2. When I took this measurement, I added the dots, which is 1 inch to it. So I'm just going to draft my dots here. From this point, I'll come down by 5 inches and draw a straight line upward. Then I'm going to mark 0.5 inch here and 0.5 inch on the other side. At the center front, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. Then use a curved line to connect the part that I will mark to the side. To increase the wideness of this pants, I'm going to draw a slanted line from the hip line downward to the hem. See the way I place my tape. I'll do the same for the side. So I'm just going to write FR here to indicate this is the front piece. Then I'll just go ahead and cut this. Here is the back pattern. From the upper part here, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches. I'll mark this and connect with a straight line. Then I'm going to bring in the front part and place this way, ensuring the side area touches the line. On this crotch depth line, I will extend this by 2 inches. I'm working on the back pattern now. I'm going to extend this line by 2 inches. And I'm just going to trace out this onto the back pattern. From the side area, I'm going to go out by 2 inches. This is for the seam. I'm marking these 2 inches on the back fabric. After marking, I'm going to use a diagonal line to connect the side seam to the center back. Coming to the crotch depth line, from these 2 inches, I'm just going to connect this downward to the hemline. After marking, I'll go ahead and cut this out. So if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button now, like this video, and do share to your families and friends. I'll be posting more amazing tutorials. If you do not want to miss out on any of my tutorials, turn on the notification bell. So this is the front and the back parts all cut out. I'm just going to lay them so you can see them properly. Next is the blouse. I'll mark down the neck measurements. The width I use 2.5 inches. Then I'll mark down the shoulder measurements, which is 7 inches. From the 7 inches, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches and connect this 1.5 to the neckline. After drawing the shoulder slope, I'm going to mark 7 inches for the armhole depth. Then I will use a straight line to connect the points. I'm going to mark down the quarter bust measurement here. Then divide the armhole depth into 2. Then from this midpoint, I'll go in by 0.75. After marking down 0.75, I'll use a curve to connect these points. I'll mark down the length of this blouse. I'll take down the waist measurements here and connect this mark points up to the bust circumference. Then from the neckline, I will draw a slanted line to connect that neckline downward. From the center front, I will go down by 16 inches. On the waistline, I'm going to come inward by 4 inches. I'll mark this 4 inches here. Then I'll mark 1 inch here as well. At the base here, I'm going to mark 1 inch and connect this 1 inch to the waist. Then on this 4-inch mark, I will come down by 1.5 inch and connect this 1.5 inch to the side. I'll go down to the base again. On that line, I'll come out by 2 inches and connect that 2 inches mark to the up one. See the way I curve this part? Then at the base too, I'll come up by 1 inch and curve that area. I'm using 1.5 for the seam allowance. Then I'm just going to add 0.5 inch seam to this side. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and cut this. This is the blouse. See what it looks like. I will go ahead and tie this up, and this is what we have. Next is the back pattern. I'm going to measure out the shoulder 7 inch. I'm going to mark the armhole depth and mark the slope. Then I'm just going to mark the neck width, which is 2.5, and connect the slope to the neckline. I'm also going to take the shoulder measurement here and connect this upward. The neck depth is 1 inch. I'll mark 1 inch down and use a curved line to connect the neck depth to the neck width. I'm going to divide the armhole depth into two. After I get the midpoint, I'll go in by 0.5 inch. Marking 0.5 inch, I'm going to take down the quarter bust measurements on this line here. I'll mark this down, then I'll use a curved line to connect this point to the 0.5 through to the shoulder slope. I'll mark down the waist measurement here. Then I'll connect this upwards to the armhole. Afterwards, I will take down the 1.5 side seam allowance. Then I'll go ahead and cut this out. Do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. This is the back and see what it looks like. Here is what I'll be using for the fly zipper. So this is length 7 inches and the width is 1.5 inches. Then this is the other part. I have this on fold. If I open it up, it's 3 inches and the length is 7 inches. This is how I'm going to place this when sewing. Next is the waistband. So I use the exact measurements for the pants to cut out this waistband, and then the width I just made use of 5 inches. When unfold, it gives 2.5 inches. I minus the dart intake from this band, but I did that off camera. So when cutting yours, after measuring out your waistband, you can go ahead and cut out the 1 inch dart intake from the waistband. And for the front and the back pattern, I have my tiny stripe that I'll be using for the piping. So I'm going to join the shoulders together. Once the shoulders are joined, I will use this to pipe round the neckline. I will also pipe the belt tie and also the waistline. Thank you so much for watching.